Hi and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this glorious Wednesday evening. Hope you're having a lovely week. Looking forward to the rest of the week that we hope the sun will keep shining for. Nice practice today, a lot of groundwork today. So hopefully you will enjoy that. As always, throughout the practice, listen to your body, only do what feels right for you today. So let us start in a seated position on our mat. Closing your eyes. Slowing down. Letting go of your day and everything that's going on in your world. And just bringing yourself to your mat. Becoming conscious of your position on the mat, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening through your spine, equal weight on both seat bones, chin parallel with the floor, and then let your attention go to your breath. As you inhale through your nose, filling your belly, pause, and then a nice long exhale through your nose. And let's take 3 more breaths here like this. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes and let's just bring ourselves onto the long side of the mat, stretching your legs out in front of you, toes pointing up towards the ceiling, hands either side of your hips for a nice staff pose. Again, becoming aware of your seat bones, having that weight evenly distributed across both seat bones. Sitting up nice and tall here, engaging the core. 1 more breath. And then bending your knees slightly, hinging forward at the hips, letting your rib cage come into contact with your thighs as you come into a forward fold, starting to lengthen out your legs, fully extending them as you come into your forward fold here. And as you inhale, lengthen through the spine and exhaling, deepening that fold. 2 more breaths here. Working with your body, so not putting too much strain on yourself, listening to your body as you deepen into the fold. And then making your way back up to sit. Bending the knees, let's turn those feet out to the edge of the mat, toes pointing slightly outwards, and bring yourself up into a squat. Again, working with your body, so if your knees object or any part of your body object to you coming down this low, you can always be up a little bit higher, support yourself maybe with some cushions or blocks. And then pressing your elbows into your knees to help extend them out, hands in prayer. Let's take 2 more breaths here. bringing the hands down onto your mat. We're going to work our way up into a forward fold. Again, working with your body. Keep your knees as bent as they need to be as we draw those feet together, toes together, heels a little bit apart. And then deepening into that forward fold. One more breath here. And then let's just lower the seat bones down, keeping the knees behind the toes as we come into a chair pose. So a nice angle at the knee and at the hips, raising up the arms and the torso for our chair pose. One more breath. And let's come all the way up to stand, bringing the arms down by your sides. Once again, lengthening through the spine, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Feeling nice and tall. And one more breath. And let's come to the long side of the mat, opening those legs out nice and wide as you can get them. And from here again, we're going to come into a forward fold. So hinging at the hips, soften the knees, bend them again as much as you need to, letting the hands come down onto the mat. And then just walk those hands backwards as you deepen the fold here. One more breath. And then walking the hands back to the center of the mat, stepping that right hand towards the right foot. Let's just swivel on the right foot so it points to the top of the mat. And turning that back foot in slightly, we're going to come into a triangle pose here. So you can either keep the leg nice and long or you can bend the knee, whichever you prefer. And raise the left hand up, following it with your gaze for a nice triangle pose. You don't have to be all the way down to the ground. You can be up a little bit higher. We want to try and keep the body all on one plane. One more breath here. And then lowering the hands down, come back to the center, deepening into your forward fold once more. And let's take that triangle now to the other side. So just rotating on the ankle. So the left foot is pointing towards the back of the mat, turning that right foot inwards slightly and drawing the right arm up into your version of triangle. Gazing upwards. Trying to have the shoulders in a nice straight line. And the hips stacked. One more breath. And drawing that right hand down, let's once again come back to the center to a forward fold. And from here, heel toeing the feet together to hip width apart, and then coming down onto your knees and once again swinging around into a staff pose. Sitting up tall. Again, becoming aware of your alignment, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, feet flexed. One more breath. And from here, we're going to make our way into pigeon pose. So bring the right leg out behind you. Just fold this left leg so the shin is parallel with the long side or the short side of the mat. And then coming up to stretch that right leg out. Let's start in a half pigeon pose. So lengthening through the spine. And allowing the front of the body to open up. One more breath here. And then let's lower down onto the mat. Allowing the body to sink into the mat. And then when you're ready, making your way back up. Let's draw that left leg back and bring the right leg up to the front. Stepping the foot across the mat, let the left leg stretch backwards as we come to our half pigeon pose to start with. One more breath. And then lowering down here. Softening the body over the leg. Releasing into the pose. And when you're ready, making your way back up into a seated position with those legs, knees bent. We're going to hold on to the toes of the feet and lifting up, balancing on your seat bones, opening the legs out. Lengthen through the spine. Let the core help you here. And one more breath. And then let's draw those legs together. Good. Maintaining it for one more breath. And bending the knees, let the feet come down onto the mat. You can swing around to the long side if you want. Stretching the right leg out. Just step that left leg across and we'll take a nice twist here. Using that right arm against the left leg to just help you deepen the twist. Trying to keep the shoulder over the hip, so keeping the body aligned in the twist. And what I mean by that probably doesn't explain it very well when I say shoulder over hip. I mean that you're not leaning back or leaning forward. Your shoulder is actually going to be a little behind your hip, but your upper body is in a nice straight line. That's probably a better explanation of it. One more breath here. And then unraveling, come back to the center, stretching out that left leg. Let's take it to the other side as we get a nice twist to the right. One more breath here. And then coming all the way back to center, stretching both legs out. Let's just roll around to come and lie with the body fully outstretched on the mat, forehead on the mat, arms out in front. One more breath here. And then let's draw the arms down by your sides. We're going to lift up into a locust pose, so we're drawing the forehead and chest away from the mat. Raise the arms and the legs away, keeping the gaze on the mat. And lowering down. And we're going to rise up for a breath. So lifting up into the pose again. And lowering down. And one more time. Rising up. And lowering down. Good. Let's bring those hands either side of the chest. Elbows are looking at each other. And we're going to just raise the forehead and chest up and then activate the hands to push on up into a nice cobra. Nice long back bend. Looking to the front. One more breath here. And from here, rising up into your tabletop. So, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, lengthen through the spine, and then tilting the pelvis, open the chest and raise the gaze. And rounding through from the tailbone, through the spine to the crown of your head. Linking that up with your breath as you inhale into your cow. And then exhale through to your cat. And then from here, coming back into your tabletop, we're going to take it into a cow face pose. So with your right, step your left knee back a little bit. Draw your right knee in between your two hands. Just step that right foot across in front of the left knee. And then draw the left knee up behind the right knee. So you've got one knee behind the other. And then we're going to come to sit down. And you can always place a block behind you here, bringing yourself into your seated position. You might want to just adjust your legs. I like to have my feet in more or less a straight line. sitting up nice and tall. We want to try and keep that right cheek in contact with the mat as we sit up nice and tall here. Holding on to the legs. Find your length. One more breath. And let's unravel the legs. Make our way back into tabletop and take it to the other side. So just step the right leg back slightly, draw the left leg forward between the two hands, left knee, then walking that left foot across, and then step the right knee up so it's directly behind the left before you sit down into your cow face, adjusting your feet slightly. And again, sitting up nice and tall, being very conscious of the length of your spine here. This pose really helps to get you in a great alignment in your spine. One more breath here. And then releasing the legs. Having the knees bent, just take those knees from side to side. Easing them out. And then lowering your back down onto the mat. Keeping those knees bent, you can just draw them back so your heels are just touching the tips of your fingers. And from here, activating those feet as you slowly start to raise the pelvis away from the mat. And then just raising one vertebrae at a time as you lift up into your bridge pose. We're going to stay in this pose for 3 breaths, keeping that height, keeping the feet nice and active. And then nice and slowly lowering yourself down onto your mat and hug those knees into your chest, taking a little bit of movement here. And then coming to stillness, let the feet come down onto the mat. Bringing those arms into a T, let the knees fall over to the right as the gaze goes to the left. And then taking that over to the other side. And coming back to the center. Bringing the arms down by your sides, palms facing upwards. Lengthen out the legs. And letting those feet flop out to the side as you just release your body. Letting go your feet and your legs. Letting go your glutes and pelvis. The whole back of your body and shoulder blades. The front of your body, chest and shoulders. Letting go your arms and your hands. Letting go your head, face, jaw and chin. The whole of your body, just let it go. And taking time here to identify something or someone you're feeling particularly grateful for today. And let your heart fill with gratitude. And then let your attention go to your breath. As you inhale through your nose, into your belly, pause, and then exhale. Each breath just helping you form a deeper connection with your inner self.